Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you had a very Merry Christmas. Of course, we're coming to the end of the year now, last couple of days of 2019 and the last couple of days of the decade. So I'm going to be doing my team of the decade. It's going to be a little mini series sort of. I'm going to be starting this video with the front rows, who I think have been the best three front rows of the decade in prop, hooker and tight head, and then so on so forth, with second row being the next video, back row of the forwards, then half backs, centres and the back three. So we today are going to be doing who my team of the decade is for the front row, who I think has been the best in their positions in the front row this decade. So let's get straight into it. So we start off with the first position, and the first position of course is the loose head prop. Now there's a couple of choices I feel there is for this one. There's Mako Vunipola, hasn't been around for the full decade, near to it though, and he has been fantastic for England, fantastic for Saracens as the loose head prop. Brilliant player, absolutely fantastic, and has done really well in the scrum and really pushed his career forwards. You've got players who have retired this decade, like Gethin Jenkins, who for Wales, who was fantastic at the start of the decade when he was around, really helping them, especially in the 2011 World Cup, helped get them to the semi-final with a decent scrum. But my prop for team of the decade, I'm going to go with the same person who I picked at prop for my team of the year this year. It is the beast from South Africa, Tendai Mtawarira. Now, I've probably said that wrong. I'm not really too sure how to pronounce his name, but so I'm just going to call him the Beast, which is his nickname. And yes, he has had a fantastic year this year, helping South Africa win the World Cup. But he has also had a fantastic decade. He has now retired from international duty. He's gone to the American League, and he's been so solid in the scrum for South Africa all these years, and he's been one of the main cogs to why South Africa have been good. They haven't been good all decade, South Africa, but he is always one of those players who is one of the good players, even during tough times. He is someone who will dominate in the scrum, dominate in his ball carrying, and he was like that. South Africa have had a couple of dips this decade, quite a lot of dips, especially after the 2015 World Cup, but he has always been at the top of his game and really helped it, especially this year, in what was a fantastic South Africa scrum. He was pinnacle to all of that was good about the South African scrum, not just this year, but throughout the whole decade as well. Of course, we can't forget the semi-finals. He helped South Africa get to third place in the 2015 World Cup. He was good then as well, and he has been fantastic all decade. And the beast, Tendai Mtawarira, is my loose head prop of the decade. So in the hooker spot, it's very tough to pick who I think should go in the hooker spot. You've got the likes of Jamie George, who has been brilliant in the recent years, coming up through the ranks. Rory Best has had a fantastic decade as well. He's been outstanding for Ireland, being their captain, and at the start of the decade as well, he was fantastic all the time. Even Schalk Brits, who has been outstanding as well. I'd even put Gerardo as a candidate in there as well, the French captain. He's been amazing as well. But for me, I'm giving it to a Kiwi, and I'm giving it to Dane Coles. And yeah, he's had fantastic decade, Dane Coles. He's 100% for me, the hooker of the decade. And reason being is he's just a brilliant all-rounder. Throughout the whole decade, he's been so good with his carrying, his throwing ability, his scrummaging. He's just been fantastic. A brilliant all-round hooker, and for me, just edges out the other guys in the spot. I think he's been brilliant throughout the whole decade. Yeah, Dane Coles is going to be my hooker, and mainly just because I feel like he has been the best one out of the lot of them. It's a bit simple, and yeah, his busting runs that he makes, the defensive abilities he has, he's just an all-round hooker. You seem to get more round hookers now, but for me, he has just pipped the rest. And with the success that New Zealand had, especially in around the 2015 area, in the 2015 World Cup, where he was outstanding during that time he was outstanding when and helping New Zealand get the success that they were getting. And for me, Dane Coles is going to be my hooker of the decade. My tight head prop then of the decade, a little bit tougher. I mean, you've got the likes of Tadhg Furlong, who's had a fantastic decade. He's been outstanding for Ireland, outstanding for Leinster as well. Don't forget Kyle Sinclair, he's come up around these times as well. He started to get brilliant, but I think he's just left it a bit too late. Next decade in the 20s will definitely be his time to shine. For me though, I'm going with Owen Franks, another Kiwi, Owen Franks, and yes, 2019 wasn't his best year. He's now moved to the Saints. He got dropped by the Kiwis before the World Cup, but before then, he was absolutely brilliant. 2011 World Cup, 2015 World Cup, when New Zealand were hitting those heights and being unstoppable, he was a brute force involved in that. And his ball carrying ability, his running, and his scrummaging as well was absolutely fantastic. And he was a key cog in the scrum that really worked for the New Zealand side that got so much success from the scrum around the 2011-2015 period. He was a key cog in that scrum, and he was absolutely fantastic. As I said, there's a lot of competition in the tight head role, but for me, him helping New Zealand in the scrum helps make me choose him as the tight head prop of the decade for me. He's just been outstanding, a brilliant player. Yes, he's sort of fallen off the levels a little bit coming to the end of the decade, but around the 2015 start of his career, around the 2011 period, he has been outstanding. So for me, Owen Franks is going to be my tight head prop of the decade. So yeah, that is who I'm picking for team of the decade in the front row. At loose head prop, I've gone with Tendai Matareira. At hooker, I've gone with Dane Coles from New Zealand. And at tight head, Owen Franks from New Zealand. And in the upcoming videos, I'll do second rows next, and so on, so forth. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Put down in the comments down below who your front three would have been for this decade. I'd love to hear your opinions. So yeah, please like, please subscribe. I'll be back later with another video. See you in a bit.